Hola, welcome back to my channel. My name's Yaneli, and hey, we're gonna ignore this little loop here that's going on with my hair. It doesn't want to come down, and eventually it'll go back into being a little whoop. So today I'm going to be talking about crack polishes 4-piece collection called Last Minute Gifts, along with additional shades, one being the jelly of the month and 2 being bonus shades. Now, as a disclaimer, I did not purchase any of these polishes myself. Crack was nice enough to send it to me as gifted PR. I'm not obligated to talk about it, post about it, create content, or do anything with it, but I do want to showcase these polishes off to you and see if this is something you're interested in. Now, an additional disclaimer is that I am an affiliate with Cracked, meaning I have an affiliate code and link that you can use to save some money off your purchase. And then lastly, big changes coming to crack polish is there's a price increase, and that's going to be effective February 21st. So I'll include a little infographic here for you to take a gander at, and what seems to be the biggest change is that cremes, crellies, and the like are going to be from $10 to $12. And without further ado, let's get into swatches. Up first, we have Street Corner Bouquet, and this is a flaky, compacted topper with metallic and iridescent flakes. The metallic flakes are in the pink and rose gold variety, and the iridescent flakes shift between blue, green, and pink. Now, because it applied rather dense on the first coat, I got curious as to how billability would be in 3 coats, and honestly, it's very passable as like a standard normal flaky polish, so you could build it up and wear it out like that, but otherwise it is technically a topper. Now, despite this being a flaky dense polish, it does dry down smoothly. I only needed 1 coat of top coat to even it out. And then removal wise, I definitely recommend soaking it off or peel off base coat. If you scrub it off, you might be fighting with some flakes on your skin. Here we have No Reservations, and this is Amethyst Dark Frog 2.0. Now, this one is a pinky, purple, and blue shimmer magnetic polish. The magnetic particles are on the pink side. On the base, it's that blue shimmer going throughout. Now, I needed 3 coats for full coverage. Well, technically, I feel like I could have done it in 2, but I gave myself a bald spot near my cuticle area, so definitely don't overwork the polish because it will pick up the previous coats and give you a bald spot. Overall, this is a very easy to work with formula. It self-leveled out nicely, and it wasn't very difficult to apply at all. It's not thick, which I feel is rare for magnetics. I predominantly think of Mooncat for magnetics and how thick their polishes are, but these are very easy to work with. This dried down very smooth, and I only needed 1 coat of top coat to get an even smooth finish. Now, removal wise, I personally deal with peel off base coat, so for me it was rather simple, but I feel like the shimmers would put up a fight. Same with the pink magnetic particles will put up a fight, so I definitely recommend either soaking it off or peel off, unless you like the struggle of scrubbing it off. That's to each their own. Here we have heart-shaped necklace, and this is Feed Me Treats 2.0, and this is bubblegum pinkish color with the blue shimmers, you know, usual combo. This one surprised me on the first coat in the sense that it gave really good color payout. I feel like usually with these coats, the pink is like barely visible, but this one was pretty evident that, hey, I am pink. So for me, I did 3 coats predominantly because I kept seeing dark patches on my nail, specifically near where my divots are. I think in actuality, if I was ever itching for a polish like this, I would probably wear a blurring base coat. I think those with smoother nails would only need 2 coats to get that full even coverage. Also, this polish does give you brush strokes, so definitely be careful and cautious of how you end up your last coat. Overall, the formula is a little thicker than the ones we swatched in the past. It feels like a creamy formula. Otherwise, it dries down smoothly, and I only needed 1 coat of top coat to get that smooth even finish. Removal wise, very simple. You could definitely scrub it off. However, I feel like the blue shimmers might also put up a fight. We have here Drugstore Chocolate, and this is a beautiful tone of red magnetic polish. Now, what's interesting is when you magnetize it in the cat eye effect, you have a sharp red magnetic pull, and the base underneath is this really nice red with like a little bit tone of brown in it. Beautiful unmagnetized and beautiful magnetized as well. I only needed 2 coats for full coverage. Formula was absolutely outstanding, self-levels out nicely, extremely easy to work with, and the color payout is so lovely. In terms of removal, I don't suspect any issues. Some of the red magnetic particles might put up a fight, but scrubbing it off wouldn't be a hassle, and soaking it off wouldn't be a hassle, and of course peeling it off would be even less of a hassle, so totally up to you. Something I do want to mention is that for me, this polish did have a certain stink to it. Not the typical scent that I would get from polish, but just something of a stink. Moving on to the jelly of the month, we have taro milk tea, and this is a very dusty purple jelly base, and on the first coat it actually gave me pretty decent coverage in the sense that I was expecting it to show off my textured nails very badly, like I had experienced with the other jellies in my last swatch video of crack polishes. But I think because it is a lighter shade, it's much harder to see the pooling that can happen on my divot nails, but it's still there, it's just not as in your face, and I rather enjoy this shade quite a lot. I think it built up nicely, of course very gradually, and because it is a jelly base, I did get curious on having the topper topped and then sandwiched with one coat of taro milk tea on top of the topper, and I think it gives it such a nice puddling effect. So jelly polishers are very easy to remove. I mean, there's nothing else going on in there, so scrub it, soak it, or peel it. Up to you. Moving on to the bonus shades, we have here Worthy of Love, and this is a red / burgundy with hints of brown creme, and it is so stunning. Formula is excellent. I only needed 2 coats for full coverage, and it built up beautifully. It self-leveled out nicely. It just pretty much excelled in my expectations of a dark red. Nonetheless, this performed amazing, and it makes me feel very schmexy. It makes me think of Miss Independent that Neo was singing about was wearing this shade, because I really believe she did. Now, something interesting with this polish is that despite it being a creme, I felt like it had a sheerness to it that got me curious into sandwiching the topper with it, and oh my gosh, it is spectacular as a sandwich. I love it. The last bonus shade is Pinching Bronze Pennies, and this is a very shimmery, shifty polish, and the shimmers predominantly shift between green, a warm yellow, and orange, and at certain angles, some variation of a pinky orange. Now, on the first coat, it was very deceiving because those shimmers are overpowering. Unless I tilted my nail upwards, I could not see any imperfections, any patchiness. It just looked like it gave me excellent coverage on the first coat. But I did go in with the second coat, and that did give me full coverage even when I tilted my nail upwards and whatnot. Now, this polish did dry down smooth, so I only needed 1 coat of top coat. Since it is a larger particle shimmer, I feel like scrubbing it might be a little bit of a hassle and then clinging onto the skin, but you can definitely soak it off or peel it out. Here the polish is on a swatch stick, and this is me next to a window. It wasn't relatively sunny, but it was like some sunlight of sorts. And then in the shade, I feel like you can see the properties a bit better, specifically with Pinching Bronze Pennies and the Street Corner Bouquet Flaky Topper. Moving on to comparisons for Street Corner Bouquet, I have here Holo Taco Cosmic Unicorn Skin and Mooncat's Nirvana Pro X. I didn't really have something exactly similar to Street Corner Bouquet. I kind of think if you mix Nirvana Pro X and Cosmic Unicorn Skin, you could maybe get something similar, but I feel like the Nirvana Pro X Flakies will overpower the Unicorn Skin. Moving on for comparisons for No Reservations, I have here ilnp's Amped Unmagnetized and ilnp's Glowstick Unmagnetized. I just wanted to showcase these colors first next to each other, as I felt like they had similar attributes, but base color wise, unmagnetized, they're very different. And when we view them in the cat eye effect, you can definitely tell the differences even more. One, No Reservations is much richer in color, and the other two are mainly in the pinky / light purple family of sorts, and the magnetization pole is completely different color as well. Starrily's Reality Shift and Crack Polishes, Ghoul's Garden, all unmagnetized, again to showcase how their base color looks like, and again they're quite different here, and even more so when you magnetize it in the cat eye effect. One, Ghoul's Garden is very pink leaning, and then Reality Shift is much silverer in tone, if that makes sense. Moving on over to heart-shaped necklace, I have here Mooncat's Living Doll and Starrily Somnia. Now, despite all of these being technically light pinks with blue shimmers, there's a different tonality to all of them, honestly. One, Crack's heart-shaped necklace is much warmer and more true bubblegum in my opinion, and then Living Doll is just ever so slightly warmer than Starrily Somnia, so quite different. And then for Shiggles, I have here Holo Taco's Pop Rocker and Holo Taco's Cloud 9. Now, Pop Rocker, of course, is a much hotter pink, and Cloud 9 is a much lighter pink, and also the shimmer of Cloud 9 is more on the cyan blue type of range. Alright, for drugstore chocolate, I have here Holo Taco's Sacrificial Lacquer unmagnetized and Holo Taco's Favorite Sister. Now, the range of reds may look very similar, but I can definitely say that Sacrificial Lacquer has more of an orangey tint to it, and also the red particles in there seems to be more finer than how the particles look like in drugstore chocolate. Favorite Sister shade of red seems just ever so slightly pinky, but also formulation wise very different. Now, when Sacrificial Lacquer and drugstore chocolate are in the cat eye effect, I think you can see the difference in the base color. I feel like drugstore chocolate's just much more darker and deeper. It kind of has more of a brown tint to it. And then you can also really tell how fine of a magnetic particle Holo Taco has compared to drugstore chocolate. Next up, I have Mooncat's The Arsonist and ilnp's Secret Santa, mainly to get a feel for the tonality of red. So the Arsonist is definitely more cool tone leaning and also much sheer. You can kind of still see some of the whiteness from the swatch stick. And then Secret Santa to me leans a little bit orangey, so quite different from drugstore chocolate when it's unmagnetized. I really love the drugstore chocolate, looks amazing both magnetized and unmagnetized. It's much more versatile than some magnetics only looking good at a certain way. Moving on over to taro milk tea, I have here Mooncat's Claire the Lune and Holo Taco's Wild Child. Now, aside from the formula being very different from the jelly formula that taro milk has, Claire the Lune's purple color I felt is too silver leaning because of the silver magnetic particles in there, but I really thought Wild Child would be the closest. But I mean, taro milk looks almost pinky leaning here compared to Wild Child being much more cool tone. Then moving on over to Worthy of Love, I have here Holo Taco's Left on Red and Holo Taco's I'm Over Brew. I specifically picked I'm Over Brew because that is to me a burgundy shade, and I did describe Worthy of Love as a burgundy-esque shade, and I feel like it still rings true. Like, it has some hints of burgundy, but also I really do feel like there's maybe some slight, I don't know, brown to it. I'm not 100% sure, but like, it's a really nice shade of red for Worthy of Love. And then Left on Red, that's just like a vibrant red of sorts, so yeah. And then I have here People of Color's Beauty, Rodeo Drive, and ilnp's Merlot. Now, Rodeo Drive's of course nowhere near, but Merlot on the other hand is very close. So if you want a similar-esque but maybe more berry-like shade of Worthy of Love and with sparkles, I think Merlot is there, but otherwise it's very close in the shade of red, but not quite. Moving on to Pinching Bronze Pennies, I have here Fauves Among the Foliage and Holo Taco's Feeling Sparks unmagnetized, as I feel like all of these had similar shimmer or shifty attributes to what Pinching Bronze Pennies is. I really feel like Feeling Sparks is honestly much closer than Amongst the Foliage, mainly because of the shift it does have. It's just that it contains a red base and much more glitters in the mix. And then for the last comparisons, I have here ilnp's Pyro and Tyler Trinkets Boots with the Spurs. Again, similar vibes in my opinion, specifically Pyro. I just wanted to compare Boots with the Spurs because Pinching Bronze Pennies has a bronze definition to it, and I know Boots with the Spurs does too. So like, you can see the difference in terms of bronzes, I guess. And that concludes my swatch and comparisons portion of this video. So I have lots of thoughts and I have them here in my little phone. So overall, I really enjoyed the last minute gifts collection. I think it's a very cute quad, and predominantly I enjoyed the no reservations and drugstore chocolate the most. With street corner bouquet, it's a cute topper on its own objectively, but for me it felt more heavy when I would apply one coat of it, meaning in my eyes it acted more like a flaky polish versus, like, I know it's a flaky polish, how do I describe this better? It's like it's too much product on one swipe or one coat, I guess, and it kind of overcrowds the nail and kind of lessens visibility of the polish underneath, especially if you want to do like a special effects polish topped with this topper specifically. Over cremes and like simple colors, it's fine. I think it makes sense to utilize it to make your own flaky polish, especially with the jelly of the month that I showcased in that swatch portion. Now, heart-shaped necklace, I've said this before, but I'm really tired of seeing the light baby pink plus the blue shimmers. Like, I clearly have quite the number of them in my collection, and although they were different in the comparisons portion, they still give off the same vibe. But yeah, I'm just tired of it, Grandpa, okay? I'm tired of seeing them. Now, out of the quads, the ones that I would purchase or definitely put on my wish list are no reservations and drugstore chocolate. Like, drugstore chocolate, I love the shade of red. It is not too orange leaning or pink leaning. It is a nice shade of red. And then no reservations is also another magnetic, but it's such a pretty shade as well. But I think I'd be wishy-washy if I had my current collection, I guess. If I didn't have my collection, I was starting out, and like I didn't have sacrificial lacquer from Holo Taco or glowstick from ilnp, these would 100% be going in my cart. Now for the jelly of the month, we have taro milk tea, and I love dusty shades like this, especially when they're purple, you know? So this one, color-wise, I liked it a lot. It being a jelly performed the way I expect a jelly to perform on my textured nails, so I know that for me, I have to go an extra mile, essentially, so I would probably not be purchasing this, not only because of the hesitation that I have and how it would work with my nails, but because I also don't enjoy visible nail line. Like, I want that full coverage. Now moving on to another red that I absolutely like, and this is Worthy of Love. Not only is the name itself very sweet, but the shade of red is so schmexy. Like, it's so good. I love it so much. It's so perfect. It's not like even a true red. It's kind of like a burgundy red. There's some brown tones to it in my eyes, and it makes me feel in charge. I don't know. It makes me feel things. It makes me feel things. It's doing something to me. All right. And what I purchase is, yes, 100% yes. Now, pinching bronze pennies. This one is also a very nice shade. Like, I could see myself enjoying it. However, I like a shifty polish. So when a polish is predominantly a shifty shimmer, I want that shift to be drastic. And this one was predominantly in the yellow shift the most, and I didn't care for that. So this one would probably not be added to my wish list or my cart, but it's one of those polishes where I'll probably watch a video and I'm like, contemplating, add to the wish list, and then a couple months later, remove it from the wish list, and then the process repeats itself. That kind of thing. But yeah, those are my final thoughts and opinions. Let me know your thoughts down below on which ones you're getting, or if you're getting the entire thing. Don't forget that the price increase is taking effect February 21st. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, hanging out with me. Don't forget, I have an affiliate code with Cracked if you're interested. It's down in the description. But other than that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one.